Hi, this is Kevin Tharp. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to do some calculations, just quick ways of doing calculations to help with this sample project. In the next module, we'll be learning a lot about operations, functions, calculations, that kind of thing. But this assignment comes a little bit before that. So I just want to show you a couple things so that if you've never used Excel, it can make this a little bit easier on you. So what I'm looking at is the cloud services, and I've got 6 users. I've got a cost per month of 23.70. But what I want to figure out is the annual cost per user. So what we do is we enter a function into the cell where we want that answer to show up. Now, there's a few ways of doing this. The first and the easiest way to do it is, and this is what the formula there is going to be. But what I'm doing is I'm going to go into the cell I want it to show up in, and I choose autosum. And what that does is it automatically wants to multiply that range. But that's not what I want it to do. I click on the cost per month, and then I use the star to mean times, and then I click on the cell that has the number of users. And you'll see that what that does is it comes up with a formula here, which is sum C4 times B4. So that's, oops. So this is what ends up in there. And the reason I put these on the screen is because I don't think that you can read that on the screen. So that's our first thing. So we multiply the number of users by the cost per month. Now what we need to figure out is the total annual cost. So the total annual cost is the annual cost per user times the number of users, or times the number of months, which is 12. So I can again use this auto sum, and there it automatically puts the D4 in there, and I simply click, oops, uh, let's do that again. What I did wrong is I didn't click into here. D4 times 12, and that gives me that number. So that gives me the annual cost using the formula of the cell D4 times 12. Now, I want to do the same thing for this internet. So what I can do is I can grab those two cells and drag down, and then I can do a Control D to fill that down. And what it does is it gives me access to, or I mean, what it does is it carries those formulas down. But you'll notice another thing happened while I was there. When I came in here, the quick analysis bar showed up. And this is the other way to do it. So we've been using the auto sum, and let me clear this formula here. If I want to find out what the total annual cost for both of these combined is, what I can do is I can grab both of those, and that quick analysis tool comes up. And what I'm looking for here is totals. So I can just look at totals. So there are different options here. What we're using is sum. So I simply click that, and that brings me in the information. And if you look behind that, you'll see that it says equals sum E4 to E5. So it does that range. So if I wanted to do that for a much bigger range, and I'm going to reduce the size of my screen here so that we can get it all on one screen. So in this other area that I've got going here, where I was looking at my costs, I can do the same thing. So I'm going to take this equation out of there, but that's what I'm working for. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm going to drag this whole range. Now I could go through and individually select those, but this is the easy way. Do it this way. You notice that the quick analysis comes up, and then I'm going to go back again to totals, and I'm going to choose sum. Now, one of the things we have you doing is putting charts in here. So you can also add charts using this quick analysis tool. I'll let you play with that to do some of the things, but by clicking on this, what it does is it brings the total down here, and there is the equation. So what it did is it calculated the cost of that entire um, of that entire row. So that's a quick overview of how you can do a couple of the formulas in this. And we'll cover this more in depth in the training that we do in the next module. That's all I've got for you today. I hope this helps with you. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.